Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, May 6th, and I thought I would take you along this week and really kind of share where we are at with our nonfiction research projects and also just a couple of the fun things we are doing for Mother's Day. We are kind of ending out that school year. We still go until mid-June, so we still have a little bit of a ways to go, but this is the time of year where we start having all these like fun and exciting things that we need to prepare for and little end of year events and everything. So I thought I would take you along. Students did finish up their habitats yesterday and they look really, really good. We are also starting our clay animals soon. So like I said, I wanted to kind of share that process with you and let you see what we're up to. First, I need to make a little light chart that we're going to do to see if we can earn another class party before the end of the year. So I'm going to make that, get a couple things ready, and then I will pop in and let you know where we're at. All right, here we have our We Can Shine Bright board. I've done a couple of these throughout the year, but what we do is we try to work to fill in all of the circles in order to earn a class party. And with each chart, we're usually working on something different. So while there are many things and many class rules that we could be focusing on, these are the three that right now my class is working on: not interrupting, working independently, and being a kind classmate or friend. So when I see somebody doing that, I just call their name up and let them know they can fill in a circle. They will come up here. I need to put some, I still have a couple here. I usually put a pencil and some crayons here. They write their name, they can pick any circle, and then they just color it in. And as you can see, there are a lot of circles, so I really try to give these out generously, especially at the beginning, as I see students really trying. And then when we get closer to the end, I'm really looking for them to do these three things in order for their name to be in there. Boo, it is Wednesday already. Guess what? Yesterday, I forgot that right after school, I had to do our literacy curriculum meeting was after school, so I forgot that. So I'd planned to pop in after school and tell you more yesterday, and I didn't have time to. I had to run there and then right to my son's basketball practice, and the next thing you know, it was like 8:30 and I needed to shower and get ready for bed. So now it is Wednesday. I do want to take you along to show you what we are doing with our habitat projects and with our animal science whole project-based learning, which I'm very excited about. I think yesterday I showed you the light bulb chart that I had created in the morning. I think that was kind of where we left off there. Students have already started filling it up. They get excited about the idea, sorry, just cleaning up my desk here, of a class party at the end of the year. I get excited about the thought of them trying to fill up that chart. So that's what we're gonna work on. Before that, I just brought in, since I just got to school, I brought in the little Mother's Day activities, or the little Mother's Day gifts that we were giving. So I just wanted to share those. It's nothing new. It's an idea I've seen many times before, but they are so cute. So I thought I would just share what we're doing. So let me grab that first. Actually, as I clean up my desk, I brought in some eggs. My chickens are laying big time right now, but I brought in some eggs for a colleague of mine. I'm gonna bring these down to her in a minute. Let me close that up. Oh, and speaking of eggs, I don't think I shared with you that I just got 3 new chicks. Here's a cute little video of them interacting with Sully, my dog. We have 5 chickens right now that we love dearly and lay all the time, but they are 2 years old. So our coop is big enough, definitely big enough for 8, probably big enough for 10, but we got 3 new chicks to add to the flock this year. So they are only, today's Wednesday, so as of tomorrow, they'll be a week old. So they're a little teeny tiny. I actually brought them in for my class last Friday so they could all hold them. That was really cute too. They had the best time. They thought they were adorable. All right, let me show you Mother's Day. All right, so we did this last year as a team. We kind of decide what we want to do so that way, you know, parents are getting the same kind of experience across all the classrooms. Shrinky dinks, which are a popular thing. Like I said, this is nothing new at all. But we ordered the shrinky dinks and we turned them into little keychains. So what I do is we take these and then I just use these Sharpies. I have a light blue one. Where is it? I have light blue and red, and I use a ruler and I basically make them look like a lined piece of paper. And then I print out like an example of that, and students will actually go ahead and practice writing down their letter to their mom, just saying why they love them, why they're special. And then I pull them over like 3 students at a time, and they copy it onto the Shrinky Dink, so onto this actual paper. Then I go ahead and put it in the oven and shrink them down, and here they are. They're about this size. They are so cute. Students are always amazed how they get so small, because it starts off this big, comes out this big, and now the Shrinky Dink pack I have comes with little keychains, but to add a little keychain charm to it, I bought these last year. I got another pack, but I just got these little flowers here to add to the keychain charm. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble these right now to make their cute little Mother's Day gifts to send home. And then we also made, my colleague had seen on TikTok or Instagram, people were making like a Mother's Day magazine, and we didn't want to do like a full version, but she just made a couple pages in Canva for us to use. So they started doing that throughout the week during their win station this week. So let me grab you a copy of that so you can see it. As a teacher, I always love reading these. They are hilarious. And then as a mom, I love getting them too. So here's an example, Mom's Magazine featuring this year's Mom of the Year. So they draw a picture of their mom. And then the first one, they share a few fun facts. So Mom gives me presents that I want, fun fact. And then something that she says all the time, this is like a nickname she calls her. And then the last page is always my favorite. It's the favorites. So favorite color, favorite food, favorite drink, lots of wine on there. Songs, Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter were two of the favorites. This year, favorite movie, Wicked. Favorite place, Hibachi. Love this. I see which moms, I want to be friends with. Another example of our front cover. And then, let's see, a few fun facts. We cook together, something she says all the time, I love you. This one is funny. Favorite food, prime rib. Favorite drink, espresso martini. See, this is a mom that knows what she's talking about. This is a mom I could be friends with right here. Favorite movie is Grown Ups, which is hilarious. So between the magazine and their little keychain, I will send these home at the end of the week to get students ready for Mother's Day. All right, now the other big thing I wanted to share with you is how our animal research projects are coming along, because they are moving along quickly and they are great. My goal is actually, by the time this video is out, is to have compiled the lessons for these and the slides into one of my newer writing units and put it on TPT. So fingers crossed that is available for you. And if it is, it'll be linked down in the description below. If for some reason I didn't have time to do that, today is Wednesday and I want this done by Sunday, I think I will be able to. But if for some reason I'm not, it'll be updated very soon, and make sure you're on my email list because I will let you know. Many people have asked the TPT product that I have right here, my All About book one. Many of the pages are the same, but again, those are units that I created back in like 2012, 2013. We're talking many, many years ago. So there is a lot of overlap, but the way I teach writing is a little bit more, even more structured now. And of course I use the slides. So the newer units with the slides have A, more lessons, B, more detailed lessons, and C, they have all the slides. So it is a completely separate unit. Even though it has a lot of the same materials, if that makes sense. So let me show you where we are at on that project. In terms of organization, I actually have these green folders that I had. We have different writing folders that we use throughout the year, but these I specifically saved for this project. And this is just to make sure that all the pages in this do not get ruined as we continue to make them. So as we finish pages, I kind of go through each one. When a page is done, I put it on this side. When it is not done, it goes on this side. This helps me keep track of what students I need to call up to finish each one. But in terms of what we have so far, we have our cover page, which we colored in. I shared with you that I use the directed drawings and that really helps them. So here's the tarantula. We have which body parts help your animal survive. Sketch your animal and label the important body parts. So he still has to label. He talked about his tarantula's fangs, how they help them bite bugs, and how they use webs. Big appetite, what their animals eat. He's gonna add a little bit more. Here we have their habitat, so they draw pictures of the habitat, and then he has to go describe not only what the habitat looks like and what they find in that habitat, but also where in the world their animal lives. And all of this information is found in PebbleGo. And then our classifying animal. So this one is an arachnid. It's one of the ones that we didn't have here, so I just had him write it. And then animal traits, 8 legs. They have a large hairy body. And then all animals need food, water, and shelter to survive. Now, in terms of expectation, the one I just shared with you for tarantulas was probably like middle of the road to lower expectation. I just want to show you some more examples so you can see what our first grade writing is kind of looking like at this time. Here's another one. She's doing owls. Owls eat frogs, insects, mice, and other small animals. Here we have what body parts, so she already went and labeled. Owls have round heads with flat faces. They have brown, gray, black, and white feathers. Here is her cover for the owl. And then their habitat, woodlands and trees. Woodlands have lots of wood trees, and they have so much leaves. Everywhere except Antarctica is where they live. So we will go through and edit all of this for capitalization and punctuation. And here she's gonna fix this one animal trait here, because we learned that our animal traits really talk about their bodies. So living everywhere in the world is not an animal trait, but laying the eggs is. It helps us identify if they lay eggs, then they are a bird, they're not a mammal. So that one can stay, and this one we will fix. But as they're kind of working, this is how we go through it. And then when everybody is done, that means I have gone through their entire folder with them and made sure that each page is ready to go. The rest of the pages I have over here, just kind of off, ready to go, so I can work on them one at a time. So our next page is parent care. How do parents care for their offspring? We have animals grow and change over time. So here they will draw what their animal looks like as a baby, and we'll talk about captions, and they will add one. Our how-to page is an extra page that they will do. This is a fun one that we always do, where students have to take anything they've learned about the animal and make a how-to kind of setup, so procedural writing. So they might say, you know, how to find an owl in the woods, how to take care of a tarantula, things like that. Few fun facts, and then the about the author page. So again, I think I've shared this last time, but the about the author page is where they draw a picture here, they write down their name, how old they are, and something they like to do in their free time. So we have about 5 pages left, which is about a week to finish everything up, or a week of, you know, school instructional time to do each page. The pages that I shared with you, students completely did independently. So then, like I said, I kind of pull them back, tell them what we need to edit, and I do that kind of folder by folder. So I'll call a kid back and we will work on just a few little things that they need to edit. And when it comes to editing, I still very much always want to keep their writing, first grade writing. I don't want to change it into my writing, but I do have those expectations of capitalization, punctuation. So there will be things I have them fix, but I don't, you know, fix all the spelling. I don't fix all that. This is a keepsake for them. And I also wanted to represent their authentic writing and where they're at right now in first grade. So just to keep that on top of mind. So a week from tomorrow, we're actually going to the zoo for our field trip. And then the following week is when parents are coming in and we're going to actually present our habitats, our book, and our clay animals. So we've got plenty of time to work all through it. Next, let me show you their habitats. All right, and now time for the habitats. So these came out so cute. I always love their little habitats. What we did is I got these habitat kind of boxes off School Specialty. I'll link them down below. And then what I always do is I print out a bunch of backgrounds for students to pick from. And then they have to come to me and tell me, after they learn what their animal's habitat is, they tell me what it should look like, and then they pick from a variety so I can see that they understand what their habitat should look like. Then we put a bunch of like diorama and habitat supplies on Amazon on like a wish list. We did it as a whole first grade team, and a bunch of parents were nice enough to buy these little supplies to make them look more realistic. And then they spend time kind of plopping them in there, and then we hot glue gun them down so that way they stay. But you can see like there's little rocks in here, little trees, a couple of them. This is like a savanna. We didn't have many materials for down here. We could get sand and stuff, but they did a great job with the sticks. Here we have one of our clay animals is done. This little lion here, he made a little rock out of a paper bag and colored it all in. Let's see, we have more of a savanna one. Here we have our giraffe in the savanna, so cute. And then just a few more so you can get an idea of what these look like. But as you can see, they came out really good. And then I mentioned this in my last video, but for the clay animals, same as the directed drawings, I went ahead and made just a Google slide of directed clay videos on how to make them. Now, a lot of the clay videos, they're not as specific and broken down as like the directed drawings are, but they do give a base example that students can use when they are doing it. And the way we do this is we use white model magic. I do have some like tan model magic that they used for the lion, but we use white model magic, and before students actually mold it, they pick out the balls that they'll need, the different sections that they'll need in colors, and then just with Crayola marker, we color it all in and kind of mush it together to create that color before they actually shape it. So that way they have the different colors first. And the way I'm doing it last year, I think I spread out like a solid like hour and a half block for everybody to do this together. This year, just with the makeup of my class, I'm doing it in small groups. So during wind time, I'm actually calling a few students back at a time. They'll have their iPad with me so they can click their clay video. I can help them get the markers they need, the clay they need, to kind of push them through for that clay project. So that's why we're starting now, even though we have 2 full weeks, because I want to make sure everybody gets their clay animal done to place in their habitat. But with these slides that I'm going to try to have up and ready for you, I will have both the directed drawings linked and I will have the clay videos linked. Now, obviously, I will make it editable because we chose animals based on the zoo that we are going to, so you can easily use those. But if you're going to your own zoo, or if you want to add in animals that are where you live, you can easily do that. But just so you have an example of kind of how we do this project. But it is so fun, and as you can see, hopefully, it's like very all-encompassing. I mentioned this too, but also during science right now, we are really focusing on animal traits and animal habitats and living animals and what they need. And 2 of my favorite resources for science are Mystery Science and Generation Genius. And both of these have great lessons and fun activities for teaching these skills. Just yesterday, we talked about animal traits and birds, why they need beaks. And we talked about the difference between a bird's beak and a duck's beak, and how one is like a wider bill and the other one is like pointier. And here is a few pictures of students actually trying. They used straws to make like a pointy beak. This was all part of Mystery Science. I didn't come up with any of this. I just needed the material. So they used straws to pick up little food and saw how much they could actually put into their stomach. And then they had to use the wide duck bill to do it and talk about which one was easier, which one was harder, kind of the pros and cons of each, which the duck bill, they could get more food at one time, but the bird beak, they could be more precise and they could pick out the food that they wanted. So it's just a really fun time, and students are super invested in this, which makes it even more fun. Hello from home. Say hello to Sully. I finished the last clip just talking about the clay animals that we were making and everything. What I was going to do, I'm obviously home right now. I don't know if I shared this, but I know I share that I go to Pilates on Wednesdays, and I'm really enjoying the reformer Pilates. There's a local place here that does it, and I've been going for a year and I love it. So I'd actually reached out to the owner to see if we could do a class for teachers, just for the teachers at my school, since it's in our town. And I was like, oh, would we be able to rent it out for like one class after school? How much would that cost? And so on. And the owner responded back and was like, no, I would love to host it for you for Teacher Appreciation Week, which was so sweet. Here's a little clip of some of my team walking down. And then here's a little picture of us at the workout. It was so fun. And I loved that I got to be in there with all people that I know, because usually I don't know anybody and I'm just sitting in there in the corner, breathing heavily to myself and sweating. So now that I'm back at home, I wanted to just share real quick with you. That was pretty much the video of what I wanted to share, but I do want to just show you what some of the slides look like. This will not be the, finished slides by any means, but this is kind of just the walkthrough of it, so you can get an idea of how I do this with my class. So I'll just show a couple lessons. So lesson 1 is where we kind of pick our animal, and I told you I put in animals that we are going to visit at our zoo. So there can be, other options, and then we just kind of explore with some books and on Epic, and then they share with the partner. Then they go ahead and create the front cover of theirs, and I show them where to get their directed drawings. Lesson 3 is to classify it. So the lessons all pretty much run in the same way that you are used to if you've used any of my other slides, where we have an introduction, a connection to yesterday, new learning. So here we are classifying animals, where they are learning a little bit about each one. I also have a video that I can put in there. This is where I show them on PebbleGo how I actually find this information. And then I show them using my own animal, because for this unit, I pick my own animal to kind of walk through this whole book with them. And then they go and do it themselves. So I'll fill this in, and then they go to their seat and fill it in. And I usually have a timer here. Like I said, these are not the exact slides that are the ones that I will give you, but they just show the basics. We will identify where it is. Yesterday, connection. Here are some different habitats. Again, I actually have a video that I inserted in my copy that I will share with you. My turn. I complete this just with a quick sketch on the board. How would I describe my habitat and where in the world do they live? And then they can go ahead and do that. I also actually have a map page to extend this. They can color in where in the world their animal lives and so on. Important body parts, same type thing, what the animal eats, and so on. So that was just a quick rundown of what some of the slides tend to look like so you can get an idea. Again, those are not the exact slides. That was just a copy I had opened up that we created as a team. My slides have a little bit more detail, a couple more interactive things, and they also go along with my unit. So there are some things in mine that are not in here, and they just give you the opportunity to add more pages or kind of take out the ones that you want and add whatever you need to make it fit for you. So that is all I wanted to share in today's video. I just wanted to share a little bit about what we did for Mother's Day. In fact, when you are watching this video, it is Mother's Day, so happy birthday. Nope. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I will likely be hosting a brunch at my house at this very moment, hopefully drinking a mimosa and wishing my mom a happy Mother's Day. So as always, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything in here, always let me know down below. I will try to link everything I can. And if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.